everyone, and welcome to this particular episode. My name is Gisela Deschamps, your raw food chef, plant-based, and I'm also the co-founder of Ilera Wellness. So today I have the pleasure of having a special guest with us today. She's going to introduce herself shortly. And last but not least, I also have my sister Solange here, who is also going to introduce herself to you all. So thank you so much, Crystal, for joining us. Before we deep dive into this, Solange, you want to introduce yourself to the audience?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everybody. So my name is Dr. Solange Deschamps. I'm Dr. Nutrition, naturopath, and biologist. So co-founder of Ilera Wellness with Diesel.
And last but not least, Crystal, thank you so much for accepting our invitation. Can you please introduce yourself to our audience, as we're going to talk today about leveraging raw plant-based food to improve our health. So can you please tell us a little bit about you and how did you develop your particular passion for raw food?
So first of all, thank you so much for inviting me. I really appreciate you having me on this interview and also getting to know you two better. So my name is Crystal. I run an online culinary school called Crystal Dawn Culinary. And I've been into raw plant-based food for a little over 10 years now. And I actually discovered it when I was really sick. I had a really low immune system. I was living in a really northern part of Canada and where it gets really cold in the winter. And I was working in a large office and I noticed that I was getting sick all the time. Every time someone was sick, I would catch it. And there was a 2-month period there where I was off work because I was constantly catching everything. And so I knew that something was wrong and my body was telling me that something had to change because I knew that that wasn't normal to be sick that much. So I decided to take my health into my own hands and I started doing some research online about cleanses and detoxes. And I came across a raw food cleanse package and I knew right then and there that that was exactly what my body needed. That's what I was missing. I was missing these micronutrients that you get from fresh living foods. And I thought that I was eating healthy because I was actually eating a pescatarian diet because getting into plant-based was a very progressive thing for me throughout my whole life. It wasn't just overnight. And at that time I was a pescatarian, but I was eating a lot of processed foods because I didn't know how to cook. And I never taught myself how to prepare foods, and being in the kitchen wasn't really fun for me. It wasn't a passion that I had at that time. So I was my go-to was like packaged oatmeal and frozen meals. And because they were vegan and gluten-free, I was thinking that they were healthy. But of course, now I know after all of the research and experiencing it myself that we need these raw living foods for hydration, digestion, to get the micronutrients to build up our immune system. And so I saw this raw food cleanse package. I downloaded it and never looked back. I started eating after that 30 days, started eating a 100% plant-based diet and high raw. I eat now about 80 to 90% raw, depending on the season. And that's how it all started. That's where I got my passion. And I absolutely fell in love with making living raw foods.
Wow.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, Crystal. This is wonderful because the way I will listen to you with patience, this is very good to understand that and what brings you to that. So thank you for that, for this description. And that leads me to the next questions is, there's a difference between a raw plant-based or raw vegan diet, as people can say, and a vegan diet. So what made you choose the path of the raw veganism, especially? And what is the transition? What was the transition difficult?
Yeah, so these words, plant-based and vegan, everyone has a different definition of what plant-based and vegan is. So it's really hard for me to say what that is, but I can say what it is for me. I like to use the term plant-based only because it sounds a little more friendly than vegan. When you say vegan, people get a little, they think it's much more strict and restrictive. So plant-based for me is, I'm eating no animal products at all. And raw plant-based is eating everything in their whole food form that's not processed, and living foods. And vegan, I mean, I was just talking about this, actually. I talked about this a lot lately. The vegan junk food movement right now is huge. And I live in Vancouver, BC, and there's literally not one healthy place to go out and eat. It's all vegan junk food. And this is just the trend everywhere right now. And so it's funny, you can say vegan and people think that this is healthy, but you know, when you're eating like loads of gluten and salt and cooked refined oils and all of these things that do so much damage to our body, we're not actually doing it any disservice by not eating animals. You know, we're just eating all of these processed foods. So for me, I eat about 80 to 90% raw. I really like, especially in the winter, like a raw cooked fusion. I mean, I live somewhere that's cold. I mean, you know, you live in Canada as well. Solange, and Boston is not too warm either. So in the winter, I definitely need those warming, comforting foods. And for me, the transition, like I was mentioning before, it was very, very progressive throughout my whole life since I was a child. When I was really young, I made that connection really early on that meat was a dead animal. And so I never really liked eating meat as a child, and I really steered away from eating red meats, and I ate white meats up until my early 20s. And then at that point, I was having really bad acne, and went to a naturopath. So yay for naturopaths, I love them. And we discovered that I had a dairy allergy, and this is what was causing my skin issues. That was the main reason. And so I had started cutting out dairy. And then I noticed that my body liked it when I wasn't eating gluten. So then I started cutting out gluten. And then I started eating pescatarian at a later age. So in my 30s, I was eating only seafood and eggs for animal products. And then when I discovered the raw food cleanse, then I cut out the eggs and the seafood. So it was very, very progressive for me. Like I said, it wasn't overnight. So the transition was really, really easy for me because I didn't do it cold turkey and overnight. Now, everyone is so different. I know lots of people who go from eating a cooked standard American diet to raw vegan overnight, and they do an amazing job, but not everybody is designed that way. And for me, I think that with a lot of people, especially nowadays, that does need to be progressive in order for people to be successful. Start cutting out one thing, then cut out another thing, and, you know, start introducing new things during that time. So for me, it was really, really simple. It wasn't difficult at all.
Wow. And I can so much relate to that because my progression to raw food has also been typical to yours. I went from an anti-inflammatory diet, which is basically removing a lot of cooked food, to a pescatarian diet as well, where instead of cooking the fish, I will bake it rather, and then I transitioned to raw food. So I think, like you said, everybody's different, but the slow transition also worked for me, and so did it for you. So I think a lot of people also can relate to that. But there's one question that I had for you, Crystal. You have achieved a number of things in life so far. What would you say is your best achievement so far in your career?
So this is a really tough question because I feel like when you're running a business, that every day is an achievement. Like if I can get through the day, I'm good. But no, in all honesty, being able to have an impact on people's lives is definitely my greatest achievement throughout my career, especially when I get messages from students and people just saying, thank you so much for inspiring me, or you've changed my life. I never knew that like vegan, plant-based, raw food could taste this way. And so that to me is definitely my greatest achievement, is just being able to make an impact on the world.
Wow. But fun fact, before we move to the next question, I actually discovered you while trying to find a solution for my daughter's acne and problems as well. So the day I landed on your course description and I was reading through it, I didn't even get to the bonus. I was like, I'm on, I'm in, I'm signing up. So yeah,
I love that.
Great. So you touch many lives, you touch mine as well. And I'm so grateful to have been your student. And you touched the life of my daughter as well, because now, thanks to you, she can enjoy delicious cakes without even kind of looking at all the type of cakes, the regular ones. She loves the raw way.
Oh, yeah, I love that. That's amazing.
Exactly. And this is a good point also, because usually when I have a lot of my clients also, because when they move to the transition to raw food, it's difficult for them to know exactly what to eat. And this is the most question that you have usually. So usually I just say, so this is the website of Crystal. You just go in and you will just check and see some ideas, of what you can eat. Because usually people say, I have diabetes, I cannot eat anything, so I have to stay and eating the same thing all the day. I cannot eat cake. I say, yes, you can. So just go to this website and you will see. And they come back to me, they say, oh, I am happy. This woman is wonderful. So you cannot know or realize how you touch people, and this is very good, and congratulations about that. And that leads me to the next question. You have online raw plant-based school. And how are your students performing overall?
Well, in my opinion, they're doing really well, and every student is very different, right? And my course is self-paced, and you can register whenever you want. So everyone is at a different point in the course. So right now I have a 10% graduation rate which for online courses is really good. And I attribute that to the support and just being there and being present, I think makes a really big difference, which is how I wanted to run my courses. I didn't want it to be programs where you just sign up for an online course and you never even hear from the instructor. I wanted to be really present and really supportive so that people are successful in implementing the recipes, but also successful at graduating. So yeah, I mean, every student is different, some you don't even hear from at all, and you're like, oh, is everything okay? What's happening? And then, you have some students that email you every day questions. So yeah, in my opinion, I think they're doing great. We've had so many students who have started businesses even before they finished the course. And so they're able to make an extra income, start a side hustle, and just do something creative. I think, especially too, with the last couple of years that with COVID and everything that's been happening, I think a lot of people have been trying to find an outlet, a creative outlet as well, something that they can do at home to keep them busy. And this course has been great for a lot of people in that aspect. So yeah, I think that the students are doing really well.
Yeah, and having taken your course, let me tell you that your course is great. And I'm not saying that because you are my teacher. It's literally great. You get to experience anything from a raw snack to raw sweet cakes and all the techniques in between. It's so well done, especially how to source the ingredients, which is usually the question that we get as well from clients. Yeah, this is nice to eat, but where do I get it? Right?
Yeah, so, thank you.
Yeah, it's great. You have actually accomplished all this, and I know that you are into the raw plant-based business, and we are actually we have created a wellness company as well to touch more lives. But what would you say is the relationship between your raw plant-based food and achieving wellness?
I think that raw plant-based food definitely has a lot to do with physical and mental health. So that for me is the relationship right there, and definitely the biggest one. I mean, of course, eating more raw foods, you're going to feel so much better. You're going to feel more hydrated. You're going to start to notice all of these changes within your body, but also your mental health definitely plays a big part in it, because when you're eating living foods, and if you raw food has actually been tested for energy before. You're actually eating like light and energy, and this plays a big part on your mood and how you feel. But also when you're physically feeling better, you're going to mentally feel better as well. And so I think that's definitely the biggest relationship right there.
Yes, awesome. And if I can also add, is we know that life is giving life. So lively food, raw food, there's still life inside. So that's the way we have more energy and we can connect to our mindset. And this is something very good, because something dead, as you just say, a dead meat is dead. So it's not giving you something good on your health. So this is very good and amazing, Crystal, sorry. And also, how do people can reach you?
So the best way to reach me is just to go to my website, which is crystaldawnculinary.com, because from there I have all of my products, I have free recipes, and then I have other ways to reach me from there as well. So crystaldawnculinary.com.
Perfect.
That's amazing. Wow, Crystal, I appreciate so much of the work that you do, and Solange and I are so grateful to have you here today. And we are so much grateful for the time that you dedicated to us and for the wonderful work that you perform. We just hope that you continue doing the amazing job that you already started. And for you, our audience following us, don't forget to go and check out the website of Crystal. She's an amazing teacher, as I say. I personally experienced that, so I can testify to the amazing food that you can recreate yourself. And the most important thing is you don't even have to be a chef to do that. I was not a chef when I started it. So it is an experience that you need to live for yourself or your family as well. So thank you so much for joining us, Crystal, today. And thank you so much, the audience, for following us. And thank you so much, Solange, as well. So we'll talk to you again the next time. And have a good day.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.